have this thought that when strong men don't stand up, weak men start to prey on women.
Oh yeah, that is 100% for sure. That is for sure. I was in Tarnova, Slovakia at the 2018 U20 World Championships, and it's a 3-day start time. So I'm with the kid who's starting on the 3rd day, and he's cutting weight and he's struggling, and I'm crab riding him with my legs over his legs, and he's pulling so he doesn't have to run because it's so much easier than running to lose weight. He's pulling my weight with his weight, my heat with his heat. So I look up, and this Iranian coach who's significantly older than I was comes up and says, you have to let him go. You have to leave. Women's wrestling was last week. You're not welcome here. Women can't touch men. And I'm like, leave me alone. And that night he is standing there talking and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just working with Joshua Saunders. So that night I go to dinner by myself. You have to give them a ticket. It's, like a cafeteria. I eat the food. I'm sitting there on the phone, and here comes that dude with another Iranian, and they start pointing at me, and I'm like, get away from me. But the whole time I see Abbas Magomedov and the Dagestani Russians watching. They saw it in the morning, and they saw
Khabib's dad?
No, Abbas Manap was Khabib's dad's name.
Okay.
Who's now deceased. Abbas Magomedov is a multi-time world champ, Olympic level wrestler from Dagestan, who happened to be really good friends with Umar Nurmagomedov, who's Khabib's cousin.
Okay.
So they're watching. So the next morning, Josh has got to make weight. He's in tears. He was the last minute replacement for someone. So we weren't even at weight. We weren't even at a good weight before we came over to cut weight. So he's struggling. His dad's panicking. I'm working with him. Here comes that Iranian. And when he's about 4 feet from me, the Russian coach comes over and says, do not speak to her. And he said, what? He said, do not speak to her. She's our brother. And he said something, and he said, Habib says, do not speak to her. She's his brother.
And that was that.
That was that. Mm-hmm. So these guys, that's what I was saying before, I just need to get back to them every once in a while. Do you know what I mean? Just back for a few weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
To get my peer level, because I am their peers. I mean, I can't fight like that dude, but my knowledge and what I do and where I fit in the puzzle.
Yeah. Yeah.
In which Javier talks about all the time. Is that
you're so honest with yourself emotionally. That's really impressive.
Thank you. I try.
Hey, when do you start feeling comfortable? Because I've seen videos of you just mashing guys. You're come here, and you're grab this buff 18-year-old guy or 20-year-old guy, and he's demoing for you, and you got his neck cranked, and you mashing him, and you're all sweaty, and he's all sweaty. But they're the perfect dummies for you. Not dummies. I don't mean that. I just mean mannequins. They know how to demo for you. When do you feel comfortable doing that?
I think when I went to AKA, I didn't do anything for about 8 months. I just sat on the edge of the mat and watched. In fact, Javier Mendez says how he didn't even know I was a coach. He thought I was just somebody who liked wrestling. And since I didn't bother anyone, they didn't make me leave. And which is kind of funny. But I think around that time, one day Daniel was demoing something, and I stood up, and Daniel was so then I started, yes. Oh, that's Isaiah Fenton. He wrestles for Iowa. And then
look at this guy. This poor kid. Yeah, I love the smile on your face there.
Yeah, I know. That's Michael Dinn. He's a professional fighter. That's Chris Creason. And that man sitting there is Muhammad Ali, who's a 4-time no-gi world champ. So, and Andre Fiallo, that's Andre Fiallo, UFC fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once I started demoing with them to show them, because you can tell them something, but sometimes if they can't feel it, I want them to pull with their wrist straight instead of it bent, or I want them to turn their heel in or whatever. They don't, they can't get it until they feel it. So I just started grabbing them, and sometimes I look at these videos, I'm like, what was I thinking? What was I wearing? Why didn't I have any makeup on? Well, because it sweated off, and I'm just so excited to
You
help
look
make
excited.
others feel better. Yeah, that I just kind of, sometimes we post videos and my media person pulls down. We get all kinds of comments about my body size, my age. Is that a grandma? Whatever. I mean, be
You're
great.
like, yes, yes, yes. Now come, let me teach you.
Yes, but I mean, that's the thing. Like, what about any of those things am I supposed to do? Should I not share knowledge because I'm not in my 20s anymore? Should I not share knowledge? I mean, that's ridiculous. How many of these people who write these asinine things, if their daughter or son was in a car accident and a not thin woman came out who was in her early 60s and said, I can operate and save your life, or they're going to go, hey, I don't like your body type. I'm not sure you have any knowledge because you're in your 60s. I mean, it's so revealing of the insecurities and the lack of emotional development in human beings when they want to judge. They have no idea anything about my health, why I may have gained weight, why I lose weight. What they know nothing, but they want to judge because they don't want to hear something that challenges them. They want to think because they're in really great shape that only smart people are in really great shape. Or I don't know, but it's just so, I mean, of all the things that really reveal what a lack of a developed human, how difficult you could be in a relationship, what a poor employee would be, but to be getting caught judging people and not hearing their knowledge because you don't like how they look or you don't like their age or you're threatened by their gender or knowledge. Keep your mouth shut.
There's this Greg Glassman, the founder of CrossFit. He, when we were kids, you probably remember this. There were these commercials that would say 4 out of 5 dentists say.
Yeah.
and Greg's dad was the head scientist at Hughes Aircraft, and his dad would always say, "I don't give a fuck about the 4. I want to know about the 1." And man, Carolyn Wester, you are one of one. There is not another one of you on planet Earth. That's what's so trippy. There is not in any respect, in your age, in your sex, in your methodology, in your emotional empathy. I mean, you are a one of one. You're a trippy cat. So anyone who's concerns about you, it's because they just walked up on a Tyrannosaurus Rex, but they thought they were extinct. And it's like, oh shit, I found. How every once in a while they'll find something in the ocean, they'll be like, oh shit, it's not extinct. You know what I mean? You're like that thing. It's like, oh my God. It's crazy.
I'll take it. That's very nice.
Yeah, you're a one of one.